This is to say that everything you thought was a new branch, right, which you would have said a new branch, was really just a regurgitated statement. Everything you thought was that he thought to him to be as a leader or to be speaking on, the whole mission was fabricated because it was already there. So were they looking at him as a spiritual leader and said he was a threat that we need to get him locked up? No, but they did investigate because of the fact that he said he was coming up under those types of teachings, right? By showing that he was teaching and regurgitating those things. Anytime you say non-ether now, you think it's coming from Rashad Jamal, but your government knows it does not come from him. And they know that every time you say understand, you think it's coming from Rashad Jamal, but your government knows it does not come from him. You understand? Every time you think, everything you're saying from peace, the breakdown of peace, all of that is not coming from Rashad Jamal. It's coming from Malachi. You understand? So if they've already said what? They were on the lookout for all of the different types of people who would be coming as messengers and warners or saviors or whatever, and they would persecute all of them. They already got who they was coming to get. Okay, well, then the only reason why you would have thought that there was some type of attention on him was because he brought out the messages that Malachi was bringing out. You understand? And it was incomplete. So the rest of that stuff really could have been somebody having an issue with him, right? And it doesn't take you to be a spiritual threat for you to get hit with some type of charge of alleged child molestation or child abuse or any type. You don't have to be a spiritual leader to get hit with that. People get hit with that all kind of ways, every day. People are getting hit with those types of charges, right? So the point is, when this person claims himself to be a God, they got to know what comes with that. When this person claims himself to be a leader, they got to know what comes with that. So what am I explaining to you? That you're going to have a lot of plants moving around now because of that. That are going to be listening, watching. They may be on his live. They may be on other people's live, trying to see who's talking about it. They on TikTok. They watching around. They running around. And you're going to have people mention this stuff, say, yo, we need to go slide for him. We need to go this. We need to do that. We can't let these devils do this and that. And they're going to say that that's the effects of brainwashing. Okay. They're going to label anybody that calls themselves a follower of Rashad Jamal a terrorist. You understand? And if you don't understand that, that's fine. Don't listen to me. But I'm telling you that they're watching. You got to be out of your rabbit ass mind to think that they're not paying attention to any type of potential threat, as they would call it, to the national security of the people or to their government, meaning their ability to control the minds of the people. You understand? So, okay, if he's in there, then guess what? They're watching all his followers. This is why I keep telling y'all, anybody who's walking with me, you are not a follower of Phase One. And then if you put a name on it, that's a whole different conversation. You don't know how the game goes, but I told y'all a long time ago, there will be no name on this movement. How many people remember me saying this about 2 years ago? I said there will be no name on the movement. What do we call it? You won't call it anything. Why? Because the moment you call a movement or an endeavor something, it can also be categorized and boxed up. And they'll say, well, what happened with the Carbon Nation? Exactly. Anybody who was a part of the Carbon Nation got put on either the blue or the red list. Because immediately they start saying, well, this person is trying to say that they're a black god. And that is looked at as extremism for one and terrorism for another. You understand? And you don't know why, but again, it takes you around to the NOI, all right, the 5%ers, the rest of these people who already laid out foundations of removing the inferiority complex. And when that happened, they said, okay, well, we'll just make Islam terrorism. You understand? Was not the nation of gods and earth, Islam or attached to Islam? Was not NOI attached to Islam? Was not Nuwapu attached to Islam? Meaning there had to be some type of conversation where Islam was incorporated in some way, shape, form, or fashion in all of these different walks of life, including the Ansaru walk of life. It was right there, Ansaru Allah, or helpers of Allah, right? So everybody who came up under that, they were labeled terrorists in one way, shape, form, or fashion. And if they weren't able to neutralize them, they were going to do everything they could to get to that point. Are you with me? So the NOI continues on. You wonder, well, why does the NOI continue on? Well, they're able to blend easier because the NOI wasn't wearing the jalabias, okay, for one. They weren't wearing the thobes, okay? They weren't dressed in the attire that the Saudis were saying was the proper attire of a Muslim. You understand? So while they were literally in America, they were dressed as Americans. right? You have the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan say, yo, I don't have to dress this way. I don't have to watch it. But the all actuality was that way was labeled terroristic in America. So you wondering why when you see Muslims on a plane, people get nervous. Why do people get nervous when they see Muslims on a plane? Well, it's because they already put it out as an image of terrorism. And when it came to 9/11, with me, listen, 9/11, okay, where they said they had the 19 Taliban on their planes, okay, on that plane, what happened? They were the Muslims, and they said that that was a terroristic attack. You understand? So watch this. If anyone has said, and they have, I'm watching the scene, a few of them have. If anyone has said, we're not going to let this happen, we're not going to let them do this to our leader, who y'all say is Rashad, your leader. We're not going to let this happen. They log that, the algorithm picks up on that. All right. If anybody says we have to slide for Rashad, the algorithm picks up on that. Okay. It's the same thing with the phones. They were bugging and tapping the phones and listening for certain code words. All right. From the year 1998 to the year 2004, they were listening to certain code words where if you said Bush, your phone got a hotline on it. Now they listening to everything you say. If you said the word bomb, your phone got a hotline on it. Now listen to everything you say. I'm not making any of this up. You understand? And a lot of people were jammed up because of that. Don't even know where these things are coming from. You get investigated, you don't even know why. Well, it's because you don't know hot words. You understand? So all I'm saying to y'all is, I don't know why you had the surprise. I already let you know the game, but I would tell you this. Moving forward, okay, because y'all keep making him a god, because y'all keep making this be a situation that's beyond this realm, all right, the government is going to handle it like that. They're going to handle it like that. And they're going to be looking for more people, right, that can get jammed up because of that clause. Because of that particular clause. So now, regardless of whether or not you think they believe Rashad Jamal was able to do any of this stuff, all right, their whole goal is to discourage anybody who will come up under the teachings of Malachi. That's what it is. That's the only threat. That's the only threat. So what becomes the target? It's not that Rashad Jamal is the target for teaching it. It's because it becomes labeled a cult. Anybody who follows that cult or is a member of that cult, they'll seek to shut you down or cause you to be ostracized. So it's your behavior that's going to make that happen. It's how you respond to this shit that's going to make it happen. And people are responding as if they're in a cult. Like, what do you think you're dealing with here? We're dealing with the FBI, the CIA, the actual governing forces of this realm, right? If they see something to be a threat and they pursue that threat, what do you really think you're going to be able to do? It's the delusion that make people say stuff like they finna war to get them out. But that's terroristic. You understand? And that's why I explain it's pops. It's pops. It's pops. It ain't about the teachings. You still clueless. It's not about the teachings. That's why I keep trying to explain to you. It's Malachi. Listen, YP, Malachi information. Rashad Jamal, Malachi information. The rest of these people that y'all are saying was some leaders and spiritual teachers, I could tell you where they're getting all this stuff from. But that was just the teachings. They didn't do the works that he did. They didn't do the works. Malachi was sentenced to 135 years due to the works that he did. The works. So why do you think I post the video, Dr. Yor, this person sentenced to 135 years for teaching the truth? Why do you think I post that video with the song Pops playing? Because in the lyrics you hear me say, we got all these impersonators trying to kick it, but bitch, ain't nobody succeeded him. First of all, you got to watch your mouth. This is not a game. It's too much spinning for you to think this is a game. This is not a game. I saw people under my comments a week ago saying, wait till Rashad get out. He gonna put all you false prophets to shame. You know, the God, that's the real God. And bro, how did y'all get like this? How did y'all get like this? How did y'all get like this? Well, when you start worshiping somebody, when you start putting somebody up on this pedestal, when you become fans, this ain't just like this in the spiritual community. You say something against Nicki Minaj, you know you got to deal with all of the damn, what they call them, barbs. You understand? You say something against Beyonce, you know the beehive coming. You know, this is not just like this in the conscious community. This isn't new. You understand? That's why I say, yeah, you can learn. There's nothing. Listen, you'll understand more when I release the rehab book. There's more that I'm explaining to you. But why do y'all think I do certain things a certain way? There's technicalities that y'all new people don't know about because you didn't see what they did already. You ain't even paying attention. You ain't paying no attention. You understand what I'm explaining to you? Every game that's being played right now, I saw it. I saw it. And look, let me tell you something. It's not just about giving Pops credit. It's about, okay, maybe I should say it like this. When I said Rod Hayes' name, okay, and I reminded y'all that Rod Hayes was making prophecies. He wasn't just teaching. He was making prophecies that did not come to pass. I don't know why y'all want to give certain people pardon and others you trying to shit on them. But others, because you like this person, you ain't going to say that that's a false prophet based off of what you say it is. A false prophet says something is going to happen. It doesn't happen. They prophecy and say, according to this will occur, and it doesn't occur. But he also was saying that he was tied to the Galactic Federation, which is right in the Holy Tablets. It's not about whether or not Dr. York is on the pedestal because he did the work. Because if I don't mention Malachi, nobody mentions him. So I don't think that's a pedestal. As a matter of fact, they do everything they can to tear him down, just like he said. He said they will mention him. He said this was a prophecy that came to pass. He said they were going to mention him, but then in the same breath, tear him down. Act like he wasn't a part of anything. You understand? You need to do the math. Let he who hath the overstanding count. Do the math. 135 years, 135. The Masonic numbers. Do the math. Over 1,000 books written and put out. Sent out in millions of different directions. Do the math. The golden ages resurrected. Do the math. Who was the problem? All right? So, well, then, Faise, don't you think they watching you? Don't you stand out and speak about Malachi York and da-da-da? Yeah, but you don't understand. Don't you get it? Don't you understand? I'm not a part of the conscious community. I keep trying to tell you that. I'm not a part of the conscious community. I'm not a part of the Christian community. I'm not a part of the Muslim community. I keep trying to give you the game, but you ain't hearing me yet. You know, there are technicalities when it came down to people who would steal money, right? And up to a certain point, pass laws where they have a statute of limitation. They made no withdrawal. And because they made no withdrawal, are you with me? There was nothing that could be done to them. Technicality. Remember the Medea movie where they said, I hope you're listening. The Medea movie where they said, we were fighting for our lives, Your Honor. Don't tell me you forgot to Mirandize her. Right? Technicality. What religion is Faise One? Keep trying to tell you. What religion is Faise One? Is he the spiritual community? No. It's plenty teachings and recordings and books where he'll explain, no. Is he Christian? People ask me, are you Muslim? I can be if I want. No, I don't claim to be Muslim. I don't claim to be Christian. No. Well, what religion is he? Because most of the cults are rooted in a religion, and I keep trying to explain to y'all, spirituality is a religion. It is a religion. If you don't understand that, then you don't know even what your government is charting. It is a religion. Okay, so Faise One isn't in a religion. Right? Well, you say, well, isn't he a Mason? Well, you could say he's a Mason. But what is a Mason? A traveler. And a traveler walks through all walks of life. And he's the traveler who is not keeping the oath that the travelers made to the dark side or to the concealment side. Okay, so then when them niggas be like, you ain't no Mason, I need you to say that a little louder for the mic. What is he then? Exactly. And then that means I'm not teaching people to be a part of some religion or some remix religion or some cult. I'm telling people, if you're a part of a religion, study your religion, learn more about it, know more about it. Does this mean that they can't, whoever this they is, can't do anything to come for me and all that? That's not what it means. You understand? But also, if it ever happens, don't spiritualize it. Don't spiritualize it. You know what I mean? Don't spiritualize me. If they ever lock me up for anything, don't spiritualize that. Just be real. Look at it for what it is. Oh, he got locked up. You understand? If I'm ever killed for anything, don't spiritualize it. Look at it for what it is. And then at that point, what are you doing? And that's why it's important for you to know you're not following me, because if something happens to me, your life is not based off of me. Your life is based off of you. You understand that? It's not based off of me. It's based off of you. And if you agree with my works, if you agree with what I stand for, then that's fine. That's good. You agree with what I stand for, and you agree with my works. Furthermore, you still have a life to lead. You still have your health to look after. You understand? You still study. Are you with me? And that's why I make sure to point out to y'all when I'm speaking on certain things. Don't I say, oh, but if you get your message, if you get your information from these people, that's fine. Get your information from them. Why do I say that? Why? What's up with all this calculation? Why do I say that? Why don't I just fly off at the handle and say, don't listen to these niggas, don't get your information from them, don't do none of that? Why do I always put this disclaimer here that says what? Oh, if you get your information from YP, make sure, okay, that's fine. You can still get, I'm not telling you to hate these people. Are you with me? Don't think that this doesn't apply to Nuwapians and Sabians. Because a lot of the Nuwapians and Sabians just didn't listen. He never told them to worship him. You understand? He never told them. Now, the idolization, he even explained people do that. He never told them to worship him. When people try to say he claiming to be this, claiming to be that, he got books where he says, I am nothing but a vessel. You understand? I'm a teacher. I teach. That's my job. You got teachers would say, well, what are you? What is your role? He said, well, I'm a teacher. There's no conspiracy associated with teaching. You understand? But don't think that just that stops them from being able to lock you up and do whatever. Okay, so if they do, what do the people do? Well, because a lot of the Nuwabians and Sabians who followed Malachi didn't listen, all right, they spiritualized his arrest. They wasted 21 years. They wasted 21 years spiritualizing the arrest. That's why when I had time to be in front of them, I said, wait a minute. Are you telling me? Because this was recent, about almost 2 months ago. I said, what are you telling me? You're telling me that because Because one of the brothers was telling me, well, Malachi will put it in a book and then we'll know what to do. I said, so if he don't put it in a book, you don't know what to do? You don't know, you didn't listen enough to be able to hear and pick up on all of the things he taught for all these years to be able to do for yourself, to do. He said, the help that you're looking for, who with me? This is one of his quotes. I have the book in my bag somewhere, Sayings of Dr. Malachi Z. York. One of his sayings, 135, was what? The help you're looking for is at the end of your own arm. He said, that's the help you're looking for. The help you're looking for is at the end of your own arm. You want it done right? You better do it yourself. That's what he said. You understand? He also said, only a fool ducks when the truth is thrown at him. Only a fool ducks when the truth is thrown at him. So when I'm out here saying what I'm saying, I'm teaching the truth. I'm telling you the truth, not just teaching the truth. I'm speaking the truth. Ether did not come from Rashad Jamal. It came from Malachi York. That's the truth. The explanation of the Galactic Federation and the 24 elders and their names and the breakdowns of the times did not come from any of these people but Malachi. So if they weren't teaching that, then you would have an argument to say, well, it's all just information, because you can't tell me where else it came from. Where else did non-ether come from? You can't tell me that. The breakdowns that they have came from somebody figuring certain things out. So if it's just information, you should be able to pull from the cosmos, as you call it, your own information. If you're channeling, you should be able to pull your own information. Y'all have been tricked. You've been tricked. Those of you who follow these people, you have been duped into thinking that this is happening on a spiritual level. It isn't. Okay, so if it's not happening on a spiritual level, then what is he talking about? Exactly, what is he talking about? What is he talking about? Anytime Malachi was put to the test, he passed. Anytime he was questioned, he answered. There were times where people tried to check him on something, thought he missed something, and didn't know he left it out on purpose, and he explained it and showed them where it was at. So now where we at with it? What was your question? And they be dumbfounded. He taught magic. He taught all this stuff for people to understand it. So now, this person, like Brother Polite, like Nature Boy, is facing similar charges and allegations, should be the real term. Right? Why do you think that is? Why do you think it is that Nature Boy was hit with similar charges? Brother Polite was hit with similar charges or allegations? And Rashad Jamal was hit with similar allegations. Why do you think that is? What is the commonality here? Well, each one of these people had the ability or the chance to attest to and bear witness to the true light and stand on the truth. The same way everybody has still to this day. And I'm waiting to see who's going to just let it be known. Make it clear. Make it real clear. Who's going to let it be known? Make it clear that the reason why there's still confusion, illusion, and delusion out here is because there is no master teacher out here. Simple. Why is there so much division? Why is there so much division instead of unification? It's a lot of division. Predicated on what? Religion, belief. The same spell that we broke before I was even born. So you waiting on politicians to make changes. You got conscious leaders. Why are you waiting on politicians? They should be able to just make the changes. It's enough for them, but every time you see them, they making some money. When you see them collab, they just going to, listen, y'all. There's a crystal blue in every fucking state. Go get crystals from a crystal shop. There's a Rondo's if you want candles. You got to know I know this. Go to Little 5, load up on shit. You know what I'm saying? There's a 7 Nanda if you need herbs. But for some reason, you don't know that there are crystals being sold in just regular white folk stores. Matter of fact, I walk in Crystal Blue, them motherfuckers be so spiritually in tune, automatically the shit turn red as soon as I walk in there. I done met more spiritual Caucasoids in Little 5 than I have Negroids. They're more aware. A lot of them, be on that for real. I walked into a store in Little 5 Points, and why do you think they call it Little 5 Points? Because it's tiny pentagram. There's a big pentagram. It's called 5 Points. Right there in downtown. And then there's a little 5 Points. There's a smaller pentagram, but don't think there's not one. So I went into one of them stores. I can't remember what it was called. But everything in the front was what it was. Me, as I always be doing, I walked around. Yeah, it ain't what it used to be. I walked around to the back of that store. I can't remember what store. I wish I could remember. I wish I could remind y'all. It was right by that big ass parking lot. But I walked around to the back and someone said, keep going. So I kept walking. There was a whole little nook and cranny that you had to walk through. And then there was a bridge. All of this was in the store. There was a bridge, right? Now, as I was standing at the edge of the bridge, there was a hanging deer head over the door. And there was a pentagram on the door. And I was about to walk and see, because if I want to know what's behind the door, I just walk and I either knock or I open it myself. And if I don't have the key, I got to knock. You understand? So I was about to open the door. Some said, all right, that's where you stop. I felt everything from behind that door. You understand? Went back out. The same bartender who was behind the counter, they were everybody looking at me. Now, some of y'all may know what I'm talking about. Other people, maybe I got to explain it further. You walk into certain abodes and they really be there doing what they supposed to do, but to you it just look like some random shit. But they really be there. You understand? That's why a lot of the ones who read spirituality, even when it came to the Caucasoids, they went to the Wiccan side. Or if they became an ancient Egyptian student, they gravitated towards Set or Seti or Seth. Anybody ever notice that? Like they'll gravitate towards Seth or they'll gravitate toward Ampu or Anubis. Because it's just the 6 ether frequencies. Same reason why you see the pentagram in the Wiccans. Behind it, the spirit, the fire, the water, the earth, the air. They'll explain. They still gravitate toward that. And they got the goat. These people over here got Baphomet. They got the goat. Why? Do you know why? And then some of you don't resonate with the goat. Some of you don't. Some of you, no matter what it is, you can't resonate with it. You understand? So you can go to these stores and get crystals. I went to Crystal Blue, asked for some amethyst. Them folks act like they didn't even know what I was talking about. They gave me a whole runaround. And I stood my ground. Because they did not want to give me what I was asking for. It wasn't just the regular amethyst. There are these amethyst pieces that are like bricks. I was like, no, I know what I'm asking for. I need the brick. The big one. I don't want them little crystals. Give me the big one. They didn't want to render it unto me. But my point is, There are crystals in your neighborhood. There are crystals in stores around you. There's herbs everywhere. It's just business, y'all. It's just business. 90% of the people don't even know how to use this shit, and they know that. 90% of the people don't know how to use it. Never heard of anything like photoconductivity, which is just a scientific word to say what you say in the spiritual community, if you say it, where you're supposed to charge your crystals. You leave them out in the sun, or you put them in water and you leave them in the sun. You're supposed to charge them, and you're supposed to know why you're charging them. Not because it's magic, but because energy can be transferred, and each and every one of those stones or crystals have different properties, all right, that will determine how that energy flows. So if you're using amethyst, where would you put it? You understand? And it will depend, because let's say you're using malachite. It has a different type of buildup. The properties are different, but it's also for healing. And amethyst would be more so for protection, which means that one is pulling in a certain type of energy and one is projecting out or repelling a certain type of energy. So that type of magnetic field that comes with those crystals, all right, is enhanced by the sun. So are you. So if I put amethyst on my third eye, all right, or if I put amethyst on my crown, the purpose of this, which also is not like you just put it there, you also have to focus in on what the intent is. The purpose of this stone or crystal is to what? Help me create a psychic defense, which is really just yielding more of an integral human atmosphere, balancing out your human atmosphere, remembering that you're in control. You understand? And I used to sleep with amethyst a lot because I astral projected a lot, and I was still learning more when I was younger. I used to tell my Omi about like being 13, 14 years old, and she would make sure that I remember about the amethyst when I would travel. Now I don't need it. Now I know, first of all, I don't even have to enter into these realms. You understand? So the crystals and the wands and the quartz and the candles and the pins and all of that is like, that's medium shit. By medium, I mean in the middle, but by medium, I also mean something that energy travels through. Not every adept or not every magician or not every prayer warrior or not every, whatever you want to say, needs a medium. Harry Potter had a magic wand. You understand? But you go watch the Sorcerer's, what was it? The Sorcerer's Apprentice? They didn't use wands, not from what I saw. But they were speaking about will, which is being in control. Are you with me? So my point is, that which is being sold in the spiritual community, you can buy it anywhere. But what happens is you get somebody that comes out with enough charisma, with enough energy, all right, enough of the star power that you say, you know what, this must be the one person that I got to go to. You feel me? And you buy from them. Now, there's nothing wrong with supporting people and getting it. It's just, do you really understand what that is? It's a business. It's a business. So, okay, if my business is to sell crystals, then I have to have promo. So then what's the promo? Well, if I'm an excellent salesperson, and this ain't nothing hidden, go listen to Dr. York, Stranger's Secret. Write it down. Dr. York, Stranger's Secret on YouTube. Go listen to him, and you'll see and hear how he knows what it means to be a salesperson. He understood the science of what it meant to sell. Are you with me? So, do you know the difference between profit and profit? And most people don't. So why would you get upset with me if somebody like myself, I still sell books. If I do a concert right now, digital concert, I'll sell the tickets. All right? If I make a shirt, I'll sell the shirt. Right? So why would I be trying to explain to you, though, the psychology behind being sold to? Because somebody can sell you dreams. Somebody can sell you ascension. Somebody can sell you that. What happens when somebody sells you ascension? And you go to them as that's the salesperson. That's only. So did Malachi say that? No, he didn't. He didn't say he was the only person that people could ascend through. He didn't say that there were no other people that put out information. That's the difference. You understand? He made sure we knew to listen and go and research and learn from everybody, regardless of what you think. I was there. That's why I did it. If it wasn't so, all you would ever hear me say was Malachi, this teaching. You would never hear me speak from the Bible. You would never hear me speak from the Quran. You would never hear me speak from the lessons to teachers, the lessons from the NOI, the 120 lessons. You would never hear me speak about supreme mathematics. You would never hear me speak about the Vedas and Hinduism. You would never hear me speak about any of this stuff. If you really pay attention, we rarely have gone into the books from Malachi. We rarely gone into the books. All I do is just tell you to go read them. We rarely gone into them. If you're paying attention. You might have seen me open up the Holy Tablets. I've done the Holy Tablets and the Leviathan 666 book. Rarely. And that was the Clubhouse days, and I think I popped open the Holy Tablets on here before. Because it's not about indoctrination. You understand? It's not about that. There's a whole plan. So I know a lot of y'all might be feeling some type of way, looking at it and saying, damn, this is crazy. This ain't fair. How do you think the ones who really know what's been going on feel? And it's a lot of y'all who basically was like, fuck Malachi, right? It's all about this person. It's a lot of y'all who was like that. And we endured it. We saw the whole thing play out. Y'all wasn't there. Y'all weren't even there for Rashad's situation. We saw this shit play out. My Umi was there to get the first phone call that came from Pauline Rogers when she was asking my Umi for a reading. I was like 4 years old. And she wanted my Umi to answer for her through that reading whether or not she could go forward with bringing charges against Malachi and never mention anything about no molestation, none of that. She just wanted to know what she thought about the food situation on the land and all this other stuff. Never said anything like that. And asked her, should she press charges because he wasn't giving her child support for a child that was in Virginia, and she wasn't even in Virginia. She wasn't even taking care of the child. And my Umi was like, no, don't go through with it. I was right there. I was right there. When my Umi would do readings, I would sit at her feet and listen. And she would tell me what's going on because I asked. We didn't know. She didn't know, and I didn't know that that lady would go on to the Montel Williams show with the Holy Tablets, with Sakina and the rest of them females, and just outright lie. We didn't know that was going to happen. And if you ever find that, you say, Montel Williams, Dr. York. It's on YouTube. You will see where they passed around the Holy Tablets. They strategically opened up to, if you don't know how magic and illusion work and suggestion work, they strategically opened up to the part in the Holy Tablets where you see sex organs. Right? And people say, yeah, exactly, he creepy. But you ain't paying attention to the fact that that was the human anatomy section of the fucking book. He was explaining about the body. So they open it up right to that page. People say, yeah, this is weird. What's this? Talking about sex in the books? No, he talked about a million things in that book. The book is 1,600 pages long. It's a whole Bible. But it was strategy, y'all. They passed it around and not let all the people touch it. I remember my homie screaming at the TV. Say, you don't let these motherfuckers touch our book. That shit was sacred. You don't let these motherfuckers just put their hands on our shit. If you know, you know what the fuck I'm saying. The fuck? My mama was screaming at that TV. And I was watching it. I'm watching it, paying attention. I'm taking notes. I said, shit, I'm in this. I need to know about what's going on. Right? Interestingly enough, you say, Walla Magic, that was the name of Pauline Rogers' daughter. Can't make this up. It was Walla. Right? Which you really saying voila, meaning here it is. But Pauline Rogers' daughter was named Walla. You understand? This is a real game. Okay, well, there is no Tama Ray. There's no Tama Ray. So they haven't seized somebody and then have to shut down a whole PowerPoint on the grid. They just locked these niggas up. But there was a PowerPoint on the grid called Tama Ray. And it really took them 3 years to shut that shit down. And Wesley Snipes, who was with us, if you didn't know, now you know. Wesley Snipes was one of the students. Amun Ra Productions, you missed that? What do you think Blade was about? Come on now. Who do you think Blade was based on? Come on now. Amun Ra Productions. Speaking about the Daywalkers. Are you with me? Wesley Snipes tried to buy the land. They wouldn't sell it to him. You understand? You had Miss Solomon, who stayed across from Tama Ray, an elder. Look at the name, Miss Solomon. And she had 500 acres. There was supposed to be a union of those acres. So do the math. You got 476 acres plus 500 acres. That's nearly 1,000 acres. And that's all it takes. That's a threat. That's a threat. Speaking about conspiracy theories is not a threat. Regurgitating somebody's information is not a threat. The only thing you do will probably make them pay attention to your followers to see if they can group you in as a cult, which they did. But the threat shows up in the works. That's how it shows up. So, okay, Miss Solomon, all right? And when it came down to Wesley Snipes, they had to have the PR get on that because they said, well, he's not a Nubian, because they were trying to come after him. Then you try to figure out, well, and why did he get hit with all them tax evasion issues and charges? Exactly. Why did he get hit with all of that? Why did they come for him? Why did they come for him? Anybody who was trying to help, they came for him. And it scared everybody. Everybody was terrified. You feel me? So you have to know there's a different playing field. This playing field is happening online. There is a category called online cults, right? And online cult leaders. And you have to know which words are words that say, oh yeah, this is a cult. You got to know that. You got to know that. All right? Anybody who been walking with me, what do I keep reminding you about? Y'all, we headed towards science. Science, 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 science. Science. Right? What did I tell you? Spirituality is an old school. That's a very old school. It's just as old as Hinduism itself. And older. It's an old school. But only certain people understood what the school was about. It was about science. That's what I mean by come home. You can't do any of this without understanding. That's why people say, all we need is an understanding. That's a violation of correspondence. It's a violation. As within, so without. There's not just an inside. There's not just an esoteric. There's exoteric also. So you can't just stand inside. You with me? It's old. It's old shit. Yeah, exactly. We say comedic science. Look at the word. Comedic science. You go to the oldest priesthood, you're dealing with science. Science. Simple science. A simple science is man ejaculates in the womb or into the womb. Boom, life. Simple science. One of the most simple sciences we have, which is why you go back and you find the obelisk or the erect needle or the phallus in ancient Kemet. The same thing you see in Washington, D.C. Well, I told you what Washington, D.C. Malachi told us what Why Shaitan was. Why Shaitan. And I told you, well, you see that D.C. right there? Divide and conquer. I explained to you that divide and conquer was in Baphomet's emblem or symbol as solve et coagula. Solve is dissolve and coagulate is to bring something into a solidified state or solid state. To conquer water. I explain to people, what I mean by when I say stuff like I explain, this means this is something that I figured out. It didn't come from no cosmos. I'm not saying that. I'm saying I figured it out. I looked at it. I said, oh, figured it out and figured out how to teach it that way. You with me? What happened? I said, in order for people to infiltrate, let's look at the word in science. I said the scientific word with infiltration is to bring water into the earth or to stop movement. Because when water is moving over the earth, if there's infiltration, that water will be brought into the ground. So what does it mean to coagulate? It takes something from a semi-fluidic state or a fluidic state and bring it to a rock state or a solid state. Run it into the ground. Solve et coagula. Solve meaning Latin, dissolve. So dissolve, divide, conquer, coagulate. Dissolve and coagulate. Divide and conquer. It's right there. And, you with me? You see the water as life. That's movement. And notice they say they want to neutralize movements. A movement. You understand? So everybody has to come home. Everybody got to wake up. Everybody has to realize the truth. Okay? And the reason why I stress about Malachi is because I find it to be counterintuitive if we're saying we're going to reach this higher level of understanding and we ignore the one who reached the highest level of than over all of us of understanding. That makes me think that everybody who does that is an agent. Everybody who does that has to be an agent. You have to be. And for you to not research somebody who's written over 1,000 books and speaks 19 plus languages, for you to not even say, let me look into this quote unquote black man, that also concerns me. That concerns me. So then I say, well, who surpassed this person? In history. In history. In history. Listen, who has surpassed this person in the amount of information obtained and expressed and brought forth in history? Who? Who? And then we got the nerve to talk about high-level conversations. We got the nerve to talk about forbidden knowledge. It's just the nerve that I'm dealing with. I'm not saying they can't do that. I'm just saying there is a certain type of nerve behind it. A certain type of nerve. Where I consider high-level conversation to be a person who's multilingual. That's what I would be able to look up and see, oh, that conversation is up there. It's not just in English. That shit is up there. That's high level. Now, I need you to break that down and build it up for me. I consider a high-level conversation a conversation that says, family, I'm going to take the language that you have and show you how to do alchemy with it and break it down. I'm going to introduce you to etymology and show you how etymology can be weaponized against your oppressor, if you have one. I say, oh, damn, well, show me that. Because I don't understand. Then they say, see what? Say it again. I don't understand. Say it one more time. I don't understand. I don't get what you're trying to say. I still don't understand. All right, here go your homework. Go 9 days. All right, every day at 3 p.m., I want you to write down, I don't understand, 33 times until you get what I'm explaining to you. By the 7th day, something pops off and say, I still don't get this shit. Why the fuck am I writing? I don't understand. Wait a minute. Understand. Oh, shit. This was right here all this time? But then you got niggas like Rashad who will come out and say, see, because now you understand, you don't stand under. You're not standing. Bro, be real. Be real. Where did you get that from? Be real. We're losing time. Where did you get that from? You ever heard the statement, there's more where that came from? You ever heard that before? So I'm confused. Why don't y'all want to go look into the motherfucker who everybody got, including myself, got this shit from? I don't understand. Why don't y'all want to go look? Why don't you want to see why that was the only threat? They acting like he started teaching in 2005 or some shit. Or 2017. Or he was teaching since the late 50s, early 60s. Young. 12, 13, 14 years old. So he was there. He even explained that when it came down to the person that Malcolm was getting advice from, right? Or the Honorable Elijah Muhammad was speaking on. You know how deep this goes? This man was there. He was teaching when Martin Luther King got assassinated. He was teaching when Malcolm X was assassinated. He was teaching when the NOI said it was the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan that was the leader. He was teaching when the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, the most Honorable Elijah Muhammad, passed away or left to be with Allah. He was teaching. He was teaching when Bobby Hemmett started to get a YouTube account. While Bobby Hemmett was creating his email to put it in there. I know y'all don't think about simple shit like this, but while he was making an email and creating a password and uploading his photo to YouTube, he was already teaching. He was already out doing all this stuff. When Bobby Hemmett lied and said he just started teaching about Egyptian shit, right? He already had books out up under an alias with an Egyptian name, Amun Nubi Re'akata. In the 70s. You with me? He was already doing it. When Blog Talk Radio came out, if you don't remember Blog Talk Radio, you new to this. It's okay. You very new. Remember, Blog Talk Radio. When Blog Talk Radio came out, he was already teaching. He was teaching on his land, passing out his books and his material, telling people, don't believe me, check it out. You understand? He was encouraging people, come. He didn't say, oh, you the NOI, you can't come here. He didn't do that to people. He let them come in and ask questions and do all that, come to the festivals. He let white people come on the land. We watched them, but he still let them come on. You know, you had Caucasian people who were Nuwapians. How? If he was just this racist, bigot, conspiracy theorist cult leader. And how do you have Caucasian people who were Nuwapian? Who were right there walking in their walk of life? You understand? This is real. So if this is the Macedon family, that's who it was about. That's who it was about. That's who it was about. You cannot, listen, do I need to say it again? You cannot, you will not, none of you will leave him in there, have the nerve to disrespect and slight him, pose like you're him. This is the criteria, or this is the contract. Here's the agreement. What's the word I'm looking for, y'all? What's the word they be using? Here go the shit, the thing. What's the word? It slipped me. Here's the damn things. I can't think of the word. Somebody comment the word. It's not criteria, it's another word. Here's the situation. How about that? Until somebody give me the word. Here go the parameters. The terms. I think it is the terms. Appreciate it. It might be. You won't leave him. You won't abandon him. You won't pose like you're him. You won't disrespect him. You won't downplay him. You won't act like he doesn't exist. Simple. And everybody who did, like I said, you're going to feel like you're in prison out here. You're going to feel what it feels. You're going to feel it. You will feel it. And for the ones who ain't going through them walls, you in trouble out here with me, because you cannot do that to him. You will not do that to him. You said, "Damn, how is it so personal?" Bro, you wasn't even born. You just got there. You got there right when they were finna lock. Yeah, exactly. And I studied everything and everybody, and I saw how all of this shit played out. And that's how I know. Nah, this is a weird situation where people in history tend to do this. The one who is sent to a people, whether it's self-appointed, sent by a governor, sent by some god or whatever, you always overlook them. And then when they're gone, you try to give them their flowers. You will not do that to him. You will not do that to him. I will make it so uncomfortable out here for you. You'll choose a different profession. You won't do that to him. Because everything that we learned from the honorables to the nobles, all right, from the gurus to the Buddhas to the Christ, all messengers, leads up to this point that we're in right now. So what we see in the midst of the conscious community is not everything we were taught. Something's wrong. We respect Noble Drew Ali. We respect Prophet Allah. or Clarence 13X, which is the name that you would have used. We respect these people. Don't you get it? We will cite them and quote them and give honor to these people. We will do that. The real students. Peace be upon him. We will do that. But for some reason, y'all won't do it for the main one. You won't do it. What is that? Here's what I think it is. I think it's jealousy. I think it's very primitive in nature, because a lot of this comes with women, right? When men do this, a lot of it comes with women, right? So when you start reaching this certain level, why you think Rashad Jamal was going off about polygamy? You know what else? The day before they came and got him, he made a post about how women need to be get into polygamy, right? And he was explaining if women don't want to get into polygamy, they're selfish. And there was another post that was uploaded, right? Which I think it came from a live. It might have come from a live or a video, one of them. I can't remember when or from where. But I do remember because I posted on my page not too long ago where he was calling the women bitches, right? Saying that they were a bitch if they didn't want to share their men. And then if you go watch that, it's on my page. I also played what Malachi had to say about it. He was saying there will be no polygamy. He said there will be no polygamy. He said it's actually polygamy. He corrected that. Everybody was saying polygamy. He said it would actually be polygamy, right? He said, but there will be no polygamy in Nuwapu. He said, especially for you young boys. He said, all y'all are thinking about is sex. That's all you're thinking about. He said, you haven't gone through enough. He was explaining that you're not on that level, right? He said, it's not fair to the woman who's holding you down or who has been holding you down, that after you get tired of her, now y'all are older and you want to go get some young girl, all right? Or he said, for you just trying to get a whole bunch of girls, he said, because it's about sex. He said, that's all we thinking about, sex, when it came to the young boys. That's what I just said, exactly. He wasn't saying it specifically to rule it all out altogether. He said, when it comes to you older people who know what it's about, that's different. That's a fact. He did explain that. But it ain't just no barbaric rod of the hand. You don't have to abuse women into polygamy. That makes no sense. You don't scream them into polygamy. You don't scream them into submission. That ain't even the true essence of what it is about. So the moment that I saw that a while back, it was a long time ago. I was watching everything. I told you I watch everything. I don't even tell people everything I see. But I was watching, I paid attention. I said, yo, hold on. That nigga said it like 18 times, different ways, that the women are bitches if they don't believe in polygamy, if they don't want to share. So what does that tie down to? What does it all boil down to? Women. Notice, it's not, women, you men need to make sure that you share your women. So let the best seed win. You may not impregnate her this month. Maybe I can impregnate her. We need to share our women. They never said that. They never said women need to have multiple husbands to see if they can pick who will be most worthy to breed with. They don't say that. They don't say any of that. Why does it seem like everybody who get to this so-called conscious level, who are men, start pushing polygamy? It is about sexual variety. Simple. I'm a man. Listen, if I'm going to deal with a sister and we sharing or we doing other situations and we got others, that's what we doing. I ain't gonna come out here and preach that shit and say, you know what? All women need to, because all women ain't with that shit. And I'm definitely not going to call you a bitch because you're not with it. You're not any less of a female or any more of a female or any less of a woman or more of a woman because you want to share. If that's your prerogative, that's your body. I don't know if niggas forgot that that's what you choose to do. It's what you choose to do. You're not less or more from any of the choices. One is enough. It can be enough. Sometimes you might want to experiment. Sometimes, but again, that's why a lot of niggas be cheating, because they can't keep it real. If you listen, and listen close. If you really play it like that, if you really own that tight timing, and you think you done reached that level, you shouldn't have to cheat. You shouldn't have to. You should be able to go to the sister you're dealing with, be like, yo, I want to do this. Either they let you do it or y'all do it together. Boom. What's so hard to understand about that? But no, it becomes cheating, and then you don't want to cheat anymore because you keep getting caught. You know, right? Your spot keep getting blown up. It looks bad, especially when you cheat in this community, the ones that they talking about, the spiritual community. Oh shit, they gonna blow your shit up. Your picture's gonna be all over everybody's shit. Right? Like they did with the I Love You Fun situation. Your shit gonna be everywhere. They gonna post all the bad pictures, the positions, all of that. They gonna hack your iCloud, let everybody see everything, and say, see, y'all thought these people were so good and spiritual and holy, but no, look at what they really into. But then it's like, damn, you knew this the whole time. What does it say about you? Even though you think you were exposing them, you were there. You knew what they was on. But then it becomes, wait a minute, is this really somebody being exposed? Because look at it. Is somebody having sex like some wicked act? You know what I'm saying? They say she like getting her face nutted on. A lot of women do. But they pictures ain't all over the web. See, she like having sex in the mirror. A lot of women do. But they pictures ain't all on the web. But what I'm telling you is when people put out this holy image and they try to merge it in with all of these different religious concepts like polygamy, all right, they got to do it that way. Because if they want to just tell you, man, I just want to have a threesome, or man, I just want to have an orgy, right? They can't say that because then you be like, where your mind at? Ain't your mind supposed to be holy? Because you've associated abstinence to be the only way to be holy. You don't understand any part of the ritual in all actuality of sacred sex. You don't know nothing about it. Or what it could be used for. You have no idea. People claim like they know about Tantra and all that. They don't know what it's about. So that's my point. My point is, niggas be capping. Acting like it's about, oh, we want to share and we want to make sure we save our race. Man. Nigga. You know what I mean? If you deal with the time frame, a lot of people in polygamous relationships anyway. Motherfuckers just don't know about each other. They in like non-disclosure agreement polygamy relationships. Y'all, this shit be about sex. I was dealing with one of these sisters, right? And of course I would never disclose. It would be way too personal. But I was dealing with one of these sisters and she explained it to me. She was like, well, you know, I got this going on, this is happening, this just happened. I went to this person, you know, they said they can help me and da-da-da-da-da, and they're going to do this ritual for me and listen, da-da-da, blah, blah, blah. And she was asking me what I think about it. I said, I think he wants to have sex with you. She said, you think that? I said, well, I know he wants to have sex with you. Because everything you just said to me, listen, the same way there's a game in the streets, there's a game in the conscious community. It's game. You understand? That's why them niggas who be supposed to just be healing you and shit, they hit one time, you never hear from them again. Where the healing? Where's the healing? And I explained to her, I said, look, I said, I'm gonna tell you like this. I know this person, but you can do what you want to do. I said, I'm gonna tell you right now, I want you. I said, now that we got that out the way, you're attractive, this is that, whatever this is, boom. What you're asking me to do, I can't do for you right now. This was what I was saying. I said, I can't do this for you right now because you have to slow down. There are a lot of beings that are attached to her. I was explaining to her. I can't. So if I know I can't as a shaman, are y'all listening? If I know as a shaman, a lot of y'all probably don't know this, my middle name is literally Shaman. I've been healing since I was 3 years old. As a shaman, I know this ain't no one and done situation I'm gonna be able to help you. These niggas ain't on shit, they just trying to hit. They just trying to have sex with you. Because to really truthfully heal somebody take time, especially when it's on that level. And it's not that I was incapable, but I explained to her, I don't have time right now. It's too many things that I'm doing. I would have to stop. And then there are certain situations where when you go in, you start running into motherfuckers. They're like, what the fuck is you doing here? It's like, hey, nigga, I'm here to do my job. I'm just here to do my job. That's it. Well, shit, nigga, you got a problem on your hands, nigga. What the fuck you mean I got a problem on my hands? I go out and start my car won't start. Damn. All right, here it go. I look at the window, the nigga looking out. Archon shit, nigga, real Archon shit. You ain't know? Nah, I know. I knew. I walk home. You know what I mean? Car drive past you, splash. Ah, shit. You know what I mean? It's freezing cold. All right? I'm drenched. My car shut down. You know what I mean? I get home, turn on the light switch. The lights is on. What happened? What the fuck happened? I thought we paid the bill. They didn't accept it. Something was wrong with the payment. It got denied. It got denied. All right, yep. Go sit on the toilet, I fall in the water. This is some bullshit. You got to understand what comes with this shit. I'm telling you, I've done this before, all right, for a lot of people. And it don't always involve any type of sexual energy. You feel what I'm saying? It doesn't always involve that. So why can people successfully trick people into just having sex and say they were healed? Because the same type of feeling that you get from being healed is the same type of feeling that you get from a dopamine release. All right? A feeling of bliss. So when people confuse feeling good for feeling healed, all right, that's how it can happen. They say, I healed this, but no, you made them horny, and then you activated their hormones. And they were receiving dopamine. It had nothing to do with the demons that they were dealing with from the beginning. I've offered, and this is real life, to just wash somebody's face. And a lot of women probably don't understand it, so they thought, anyway, this nigga trying to start with my feet. I know what the game is. No. I've offered to wash somebody's feet before. She didn't go for it because I know she was looking at me as just like I'm every other male. And I understand it. I respect it. But I said, yo, you dealing with a lot. You got a lot going on. She was telling me about how she had this going on. She went through this situation. She had this procedure done. And that can affect it. A lot of people don't talk about the after effects of that procedure, right? When it comes to life being removed from the womb, they don't talk about that, right? I said, I'm going to come over there. I'm going to wash your feet. She's like, but then what? Like, what you mean, but then what? That's what the fuck I said I'm going to do. Wash your feet. Well, why? Well, you're walking on your soles, your feet, right? While you're walking, all of this is moving downward. It still has to go upward, but it's moving downward. You pull in things from your feet. Anybody ever tell you, your elders ever tell you, yo, make sure you ain't running outside with no shoes on, because you could pull in all them different germs and bacteria through your feet. They used to warn you about the tapeworm and all of that. So this is one of the ways that these energies can come through that provide an environment that's conducive for these beings. Y'all crazy. I see y'all. You understand? So then I can pull that energy out of your feet. Which means what? Well, then I have to know how my hands work. I have to know where's the negative and where's the positive. You understand? And I have to know if I'm pulling this way, what's happening on the other side. This ain't just no foot rub. So I done had niggas talk about these people, female telling me, and it was one of the same females I was speaking on, was talking about, oh yeah, he's a masseuse. I said, okay, where he get his license from? He don't have a license. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, okay, well then, Wow, he just taught himself how to massage. Like, yeah, he's an intuitive masseuse, bro. And then she explained to me that after the massage, they had sex. I said, that's what the fuck the purpose of the massage was. It's game. It's game. It's game. Y'all remember the Meteor Man movie? Where there was a part where the dude came in with the African hat on. It was talking to the sister. Like, what's going on, my Nubian goddess, my beautiful Nubian queen, right? And he dapped up the dude. I can't remember his name. Why I can't remember his name right now? The main character, right? He dapped him up and was like, yo, he said, this is my first black sister. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying this out. But he went back to, my queen, my goddess, man, it's game. So then you start learning the difference. Okay, well then, damn Faise, you talking about everybody else game, you don't have game? Come on, nigga, I'm a nigga. That don't mean I don't have game, but my game is teaching the females I'm dealing with the fucking game. Giving you an edge, boom. Hey, here go the game. So what did it come back around to? I told her, I said, yo, that's what it's about. It's about sex. Boom. Right? Okay, so now what do you want to do? And that becomes what it became. But you know the game. Hey, this is about sex. These niggas ain't healers. They're not healers. So polygamy is not about building a community. Polygamy is not about saving the black race. Have you been to the hood? Have you been to the hood? Have you been to the hood? When they take and say that the people who are melanin dominant are minors or either minority, have you been to the hood? It's like they stop on the outside. They might be scared when they be taking the census. They might be scared. Because if you just go to one house, there's enough niggas. That's just enough. It's enough. There's enough. If you go to one house, there's enough children there for generations to come. The human race is not in jeopardy. The melanin dominant race is not in jeopardy. It's children all through the hood. You tripping over, who kid is this? Can you get your shit? What are y'all doing? Wake up. Wake up. Y'all, sisters, wake up. Wake up. It's the same shit, y'all. They nervous about when you learn this shit because then it's like you start exposing these niggas who appear to be alpha ain't really alpha. These niggas who appear to be spiritual gurus ain't really that, for real. Be like, yo, can you heal me without touching me? And watch them try to explain how you speaking in semantics and you don't really want help. And then they'll do a whole teaching on here about how y'all women don't want help. Y'all don't want help. Y'all don't want no nigga to help y'all. We try to help y'all. Here y'all come, being selfish. What? Touch is one thing. Heal her without touching her. Can you do it? I mean, literally without touching her. Can you do it? What words can you say that will cause a subliminal reaction in her body? You understand? That alleviates stress response. This is why shamans weren't just people who had to touch a motherfucker. Shamans knew tones. I'm talking about everybody. I'm talking about some of everybody. Some of everybody. Don't they all try to play like that? Listen, don't they all try to do it? Don't they all try to do it? No. Now, again, it doesn't mean that there isn't a science to sex or a science to the orgasm or a science. There's a science to all of this shit. I learned that shit a while ago, long before the internet. There's a science to all of this. All right. But one thing they don't want to really tell you about Tantra, that it was less about sensuality. It was less about the pleasure than it was about the fulfillment and the rectification of your magnetic field. It was more about abstinence. So when you talk about Tantra, notice everybody talking about Tantra sex. But then they'll show you videos. I seen this back in 2018. It was a video of a female, a sister, a woman who was laying on the table and everybody was just touching her. They're like, this is our tantric energy. Man, y'all are activating her dopamine. What are you talking about? This tantric energy. She's being touched. You understand? So the real science is way deeper. My point is, when I saw stuff like that about how people were doing that, like Rashad was doing that, pushing polygamy, and it wasn't just one thing to push it. That's not a problem, because that's a lifestyle that people may want to experience. Some people might want to try it out and say, you know, that actually sounds like fun. They don't have to even do it for a spiritual purpose. They could just want to try it out. It might work. It might not work. But to condemn the women who didn't want to do that was a mistake. That was a mistake. That was a major mistake. And there's a lot of people making major mistakes right now. You don't get it yet? You don't get it yet? Right? And you saw the brother that I put it on my page, on my story when I had it on there, where it was an older elder who was teaching about the ancient African way of life, where they referred to the women as God in their language. And he spoke about the ma, which is the water. You understand? It's going to teach you something when you realize it. It teaches you something. Wait a minute now. It ain't saying for you to be no softy. It ain't saying for you to be nobody that just get ran over. That's not the reality. The reality of it is, family, when you acknowledge their power, it makes you more powerful because you came from them. Everything you have in you came from them. You acknowledging their power only is going to make you more powerful. You being afraid of their power turns you to an oppressor. So it's like, what are you afraid of? But again, the cheating didn't work for niggas, so they had to go to polygamy. You see NLE Chopper. And you start noticing a trend. You say, well, it's like all these niggas grouped into the same kind of group. It's like everybody flocking together, birds of a feather. Remember when Rail Chosen tried to defend him? You know I watch everything, right? Remember Rail Chosen tried to defend that stupid ass shit he said? Talking about we cheat because it's in our nature? They're like saying, I'll slime a nigga out because it's in my nature. Or I'll rat on my homeboy because it's in my nature. Right? Or I'll steal out my mama purse because it's in my nature. Bro, there's not something that a human being can do that isn't in their nature to do. Everything is in our nature. So if cheating is in your nature, but also being loyal is in your nature, why the fuck do y'all niggas seem to only be choosing one nature? Somebody said that's a bar. You didn't comment it, but you said it. Why isn't like everybody choosing? Well, because it's animalistic. It's easier. But all them niggas flock together. And they all on the same shit. You feel me? So the bottom line, wake up. Boom. Wake up. If you sent money for the books, make sure you DM me your email. I would say check your spam, but if you sent a while ago, it probably got lost by now. Just DM me your email again. I got you. DM me again, though, because if you DM me before and it didn't pop up, it got hidden. It's just, I don't know, DM has been working like that lately. So DM me again. Right? It's animalistic behavior. Listen, I keep telling you, I'm reminding you, I'm still a man. I'm not saying I haven't wanted multiple women, all that stuff. It's just like, it depends on what you focus on at what time. Right? Now, when you focus on certain things, you just don't got time to be juggling all that different type of shit. It's just too much shit to be handling at one time. You feel what I'm saying? If you still got to get this figured out, it's too much to handle for you to be like, you know what, I'm going to get in a polygamous relationship. You know, unless whoever you get in that relationship with is going to help you. Now, that can be beneficial. You meet a couple sisters, they got this going on, they got that going on, they into polygamy. All right, you got strong sisters with you, please. You're going to be boosted. You will be stronger if they're the right sisters. You understand? And you will be motivated, especially if they're not letting you just lay around and be up under the bliss of having access to multiple women. You'll be motivated. That happens. I've seen it where people are able to be motivated through the women that they deal with. I'm not shaming people for that. I'm just saying, don't try to blend this into ascension. It has nothing to do with it. Yeah, if Yaki got multiple wives, that's for him. That's for him. A lot of people in the biblical scripture had multiple wives. That's for them. That's for them. It's still variety, but that's for them. You know what I mean? Now, I'm not saying I'm going to have multiple wives, but I foresee in the future that it's going to be a team of women behind me. Shit going to be different. I just see it, and I'm not finna tell nobody. That it's because we saving our nation. I'm not finna tell nobody that they got to have babies with me to make sure, that there's more God on the earth. I'm not doing none of that bullshit. I know that if it's women who on your team, you ain't finna lose. Simple. If it's the right women, let's put it like that. Right women on your team, you ain't finna lose. They got you. I never surround myself with niggas. Never. You understand? In all actuality, there's so many other things that happen. Men can have multiple women, then women can have multiple women. I mean, multiple men. He said, if you can say men have multiple wives, okay, then women can have multiple husbands. What's the problem? We all guys, right? Everybody's supposed to be able to do their thing. No, it just seems like y'all want to do y'all thing, and women supposed to just come out. Listen, I'm saying everything, but sisters is like, bro, get up, stand up for real. Stand up, man. Like, we can't keep doing this shit if y'all stand up. Stand up. And when your sister stand up, don't attack her. Don't attack her when she stand up. Side with her. Y'all heard me? When your sister stand up and say, yo, we got to stop doing it, don't attack her. Because sometimes it takes a while to even realize what oppression is and to know that it's happening. And I be looking at a lot of y'all the sisters who come from the spiritual community, y'all be some real strong women. But y'all put up with some of the same shit that y'all say the sheep women put up with. A lot of the same shit. And I'm like, I don't get it. Stand up. You know what I mean? I don't give a fuck what this nigga teaching. I don't give a fuck what this man's product is. I don't give a fuck what this person's movement is. Don't tolerate abuse. At all. Don't tolerate it. You understand? You're not up under anybody. That man's supposed to tell you, hey, you walking with me. You walking with me. You look over here, you watch my 6. All right? I look forward, I see over here, I watch this 9, this 12. And you grab my 3. We walking together. He gonna put you on game. Say, hey, look, you know what this is? You ever seen one of these before? This is the safety. You know how to use this? All right? This is... we supposed to be the protectors of the women. Women supposed to be able to protect themselves, too. I mean, what do you want to happen? What do you want me to tell you? What do you want me to say? What do y'all want me to say? Y'all want me to say that the black man is God and that the women is just, it's like, what, they just here with us? What do y'all want me to say to make you feel like we're going somewhere in the right direction? What do you want me to say? The black man is God. The women, they here. They cool, right? We need a whole bunch of women so that we can save our nation and build an empire. Okay? We don't need to be loving these females. We just need to focus on ourselves, and that's it. Right? Build a new world. We the kings. We the gods of the earth. What do y'all want me to say? She's supposed to depend on us for protection and everything. Bro, Listen, fuck all that. Where the Amazon women at who decided that the men were out of order, went on a genocide spree to clean out the motherfuckers and became some of the most vicious warriors in history? Where they at? Because y'all niggas wouldn't survive. There was a conversation on Clubhouse a while ago where the sisters were saying certain things, and I said, hey, y'all niggas might want to listen. Because even though you might think they just talking, they don't really be talking a lot. Yeah, some of the sisters said, well, we stopped having babies. It's like they were having a meeting in front of niggas. And niggas is steady arguing. They said, well, if we close our legs and stop having babies, then that'll be that. If we put this up, niggas like, see, that's the thing. Y'all all, I said, bro, I'm on y'all side. My point is, y'all niggas ain't studied enough history. When them women become warriors, they're the most fierce warriors ever. Women are more fierce warriors than men. Historically. It's just what it is. When they tap into that warrior side, you say, oh, she's just water. Just water. Ever heard of a tsunami? When they really tap into that, it's like you really want to be on top of the tsunami. You don't want to be standing there firm as a building talking about some, this is my world. You feel me? You got power too. That's my point. Men have the power and women have the power. But it's like, you got to stop you got to stop this shit. You got to stop this shit. We got to stop this shit that says that we are more powerful than them, for one. All right? And we got to start acting like they don't really have power. Because all this shit is being ran by that same power that you were denying. So my point is, no. Now, for all y'all who go for it, y'all go for it. And I feel for you. I feel for the sisters, Malaya, all right, and the other sisters. I feel for them, for the type of abuse that they endure up under Nature Boy. I feel for them. I really feel for the sisters. Niggas, I don't know whatever them niggas had going on, that was, but just to be fair, it was some other niggas that was up under that spell too. Right? But for the sisters, I feel for them because it's like y'all don't deserve to put up with that shit. To go through that shit for the sake of saying that somebody is to be worshipped and glorified, and had them folk kissing his feet, rubbing his feet, bowing down to him, and, slapping the other one, attacking. That's abuse. Talking about, she can leave. Why she won't leave? Why she won't leave? Because she's afraid. Fear works in multiple different ways. You understand? And people who are abused can become dependent upon the abuser. You feel me? So I see y'all, I'm like, yo, listen. It's tricky because you go into the hood, you still find some of the strongest women you've ever seen in your life. They may not have been exposed to any of the things like the spirituality that y'all keep talking about, the people who talk about that. But mentally, a lot of them are very strong. Partially because of the things that they've been through, partially because they're women. But people think that just because they're strong and they're women, that means they're supposed to endure or supposed to go through the shit that people put them through. No. So the moving forward says, hey, hold these niggas accountable. Make sure they correct their language. You don't speak curses over our sisters. Simple. You don't speak curses over them. Correct your language. You will not refer to them as bitches. Correct it. You used to do it. That's what you used to do. Now, you don't do that. You don't do it. Simple. Remove it from your vocabulary. If you dealing with they say she a bitch, I'm going to call her a bitch. If you're dealing with a sister that you feel like you got to call her that, either you going to help her elevate out of that state or leave her alone. Leave her alone. Leave her alone. If she a bitch, I'm going to call her a bitch. Why? Why are you going to do it? Does it make you feel like you have more control at that point? She cheated on me. She a hoe. So basically, with her body, she went and had sex with somebody. It wasn't you. You're upset about it because you feel like you don't have control anymore. And as men, the last thing you don't want to be is in control. It's ego. We don't like not being in control. So now, our way of attacking her is call her a hoe. Or to defame her. Blast her name around. You know, they don't do nothing to make you look weak, that's all. Or prove that you're weak. If you're dealing with somebody who's cheating on you, stop fucking with them. Leave her. Or tell the truth. You don't want to leave. Why? Because this is one of those situations where you don't got to really hunt no more. Or search. You got something that's easy access right now in your brain. So you rather put up with somebody cheating on you than to come to dignity and say, hey, I'm not dealing with that shit, and walk away. So you fighting really with yourself. She already said, bro, she already said what it is. She basically already said what it is. And if you found out, she wanted you to know what it is. So she basically told you what it is. She just didn't tell you how you would have told her. She told you what it is. She let you find out. And she trying to see what you're going to do. So you mad, you cussing, you slapping the steering wheel, but you still on the way to the house. She in the passenger seat. She might argue back with you. Boom, boom, boom. You might survive a day. Next thing you know, you back at it. You want something? You want something back from the store? Come on, man. It's all a game. Okay, if it's really like that, well then come to dignity and walk away. But people stay because of benefit. People stay because there's some type of benefit in this relationship, even if it's just sex. So then if you stand and you putting up with her, why she gotta be a hoe? Why she gotta be a bitch? Either you gonna elevate her and say, she used to do these things. Now I got her on this, we doing this, we doing it. But most of you can't really elevate her. What you gonna put her on to? You can't even put her on. So niggas start substituting and say, I ain't even got shit. So they just started saying, let me tell you something. Let me tell you something. They just started saying shit that motherfuckers done already said. And Malachi explained this. He said that people was going to be doing that. Right? That they were going to try to position themselves as the leader to get the women. You with me? Nah, sisters, y'all wake up to the game. And remember, the same way y'all know y'all got power, just start exercising that shit. Change this shit around. The polarity has to be shifted. It has to be. Flip that negative around and that positive around. Flip it around. And watch this round start changing. You feel me? Make it more about the works. What is somebody standing on? See what it is they going to put them to the test for real. What are they going to stand on? And you be real. Everybody stop playing dress up. Everybody stop playing spiritual. Everybody stop playing Christian. Everybody stop playing Muslim. Stop playing woke. Stop playing all this other shit. Be it. Be it. Be it. If everybody who is doing that, salute. Salute, because this realm is changing. What do you mean? You said the women got to care about it. Care about what? What do they got to care about? For the people who are wondering about the books, I'm going to let you know how you can get it. I got you. I'm not in the business of like trying to act like I'm on some perfect shit or none of that shit. I don't give a fuck about none of that. I'm not into that. Anybody want to know shit about me, you ask. You know what I mean? Only time you probably don't know about it, I'm like, oh, now you didn't ask that. I would have told you that. I actually care about what men are standing on instead of taking niggas in out of desire. That's a fact. That's what I'm saying. That's a fact. I got videos that show how this realm is shifting people. That's what's up. That what's up. All right. When you waiting on food to get done, right? You know food is getting done when you start smelling the food. You can hear the grease. You might hear the scraping of the fork in the pan or the spatula, right? You can see the smoke. All right. You know food is getting done. Somebody might tell you, yo, food will be done in about half an hour. You say, I bet. Right? So you start getting the table ready. If the food don't come out in 30 minutes, what should you do? What should you do? You should ask, what's the update? What's the update on that food? You still bringing food? Right? Motherfucker might tell you, give me about another half an hour. You say, I bet.